So let's make sure we have what we need for our practice before we start. You might find blocks handy today, or your low footstool or a low chair. We are going to do shoulder stand and move into halasana, plow pose. So if you want to join me with that, and if it's not a practice that you've been supported in a live class directly with a teacher there with you, then please don't join me in shoulder stand or halasana, because of the way that we distribute the weight onto our upper shoulders and the angle that we take our neck in. So I want you to be super careful and super safe with that. But if you have a regular practice and you've been supported in shoulder stand before, and if you want to take your legs over, just having a bolster or a large pillow or your low footstool behind you so you can bring your feet onto it. You don't have to bring your feet onto anything. You can just have your feet going over your head. But if you can almost reach the ground, then it's good to have something level there. Just check what my dogs are doing, shenanigans. So, I think we're ready. I think there's a couple more coming into the room. Yes. There we go. Right. So let's come into our easy pose, Sukhasana. Settling onto your mat. Perhaps you are seated on a cushion or a folded blanket. And our practice today is going to be connecting with Satya, the moral or ethical observances and restraints that have been set out in the practice of yoga by Patanjali. And we worked with Satya already, so this is the second Satya section. And it's connected to truthfulness, honest communication, authentic expression of yourself in terms of being truthful about who you are to yourself, but also in how you relate and connect to others, that you come from a place of authenticity and that we present ourselves to others in a way that is with integrity and truthfulness to it, rather than misrepresenting who we are or deceiving ourselves. So that's the quality we're going to be working with today. That's the principle we're working with today. The mudras, 2 mudras we're going to adopt today. Last week, I think we did Akash Mudra, which was thumb and middle finger. And I think we did the Brahma Mudra, which was curling in the index to the base of the thumb and then bringing the middle to touch the thumb. That's Brahma Mudra. That was what we did last time. This time, we're going to bring in Kali Mudra. So interlacing all your fingers and then releasing your index fingers so that they're pointing up, and then crossing your thumbs. Now, your thumbs can be either right or left. Most people prefer to have it left over right. For some reason, I align more with having my right over the left, and I'm going to go with my instincts. So whatever feels comfortable for you in Kali Mudra. This represents the sword of an incarnation of Durga, who is the alternative aspect of Kali. And this is about slaying. The sword represents slaying through illusion, delusion, the veil that falls upon us when we are not in our truthful beings or truthful expressions, and when we are not in relation with others from that place. And the other mudra we're going to have is Visuddha Mudra, which is the throat chakra mudra. So we'll start with that one. So interlace all of your fingers. And then bring your thumbs to touch so that you create this circle here. And then rest your arms on your laps. So your hands can be resting on your lap here. So you can see we've created a circle. Visuddha Mudra is connected to the throat chakra here. And the color here is blue. The yantra or the shape is a circle. So we're creating the circle. And it's at the Visuddha chakra that we express our truth, how we speak up, how we listen deeply to others. It's the place of authenticity. So as we're working with the principle of Satya, this is the chakra that we're going to bring into our practice. The element here is space, expansion, being able to expand in your truth, how being truthful gives us a sense of expansiveness. When we move away from hiding, when we move away from deceit, when we move away from falsehoods or misrepresentations, we expand as individuals and we have expansive relationships with those in our community. Closing your eyes here with your Visuddha Mudra, fingers interlaced, thumbs connected, creating a circle here. And as you close your eyes, begin to visualize your breath. In your mind's eye, think, feel, and imagine a breath that is the color of blue. Any shade of your choosing. It might be a deep blue, the deep blue of the ocean, the pale blue of the sky. And trace this swirl of blue as you inhale and exhale on your breath. This is the essence of being, of existing. Sat means that which exists, that which is. Satya. This essence of truth that is at the core of who we are, at the core of our relationships with one another. And as we grow from children to adulthood, we learn to hide ourselves. We become socialized, conditioned. And sometimes those niceties or the polite way of being means that we conform, we try to fit in. And we may lose that connection to ourselves. We might feel to speak out will draw attention to ourselves. To speak out, we might cause hurt and harm. To speak out might place us in a vulnerable position in which others can criticize or undermine us. We may not have the confidence or the self-esteem to trust our own voice, to trust what we express. So allow this swirl of blue breath to fill your body. As you inhale, draw it down to the core, perhaps even further down your legs to your feet, along your arms to your fingers, so that every pore of your being fills with this blue of your choosing, this color that reaches every part, this breath that reaches every part. Our mantra for today is Om Satya Param Dharma. May my path be the path of truthfulness, of honest communication and connection, always and with all. We'll open by chanting Om, then our mantra 3 times. Maintain your Visuddha Mudra. Take a full breath in to prepare. Feel the breath as it travels down past your throat. And when you chant Om, allow the at the end of the Om to vibrate in your throat. Preparing. Om. Om Satya Param Dharma. Om Satya Param Dharma. Om Satya Param Dharma. Om. Namaste and welcome. Welcome, yogis. So we're going to be connecting with, when we work with the principle, we seek the associated chakra, the associated element, so that our practice is deepened and that we experience it on our subtle energy level, the level beyond the physical, this self, this vital life energy that we have. We connect with others via this energy, through this energy. We give off energy, we give off vibes to each other. We respond and react to other people's energy, to the vibes that they give off to us. And these vibes will either help us to feel safe with someone else, help us to know whether we can trust this person or not. We instinctively and intuitively sense whether the communication and the connection we have with another is founded on a principle of trust and safety and truth, or whether it is insecure, unsteady. We're not quite sure about this person or what they think about us or how we feel about them. So that's why we try and bring in these elements and the chakras. So let's start by placing our fingertips on the earth to ground and root first. As you inhale, turn over to look at the left shoulder and then breathe out. Inhale back to center. As you exhale, turn to look over to the right. Twice more. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. To center. Exhale to the right. Last time, inhale to center. Exhale over to the left. Back to center. Exhale to the right. Back to center. Take a moment here. Interlace all your fingers. Release your index fingers. Cross your thumbs. Inhale to reach up. Take 3 breaths here. Exhale over to the left. You won't go very far. This is a subtle movement. Your chin is tucked into your throat here. Inhale to center. Exhale over to the right. And again, it's a subtle movement. Keep grounding down through your sit bone, through the left knee here. Inhale to center. As you release, take your hands behind your back. Interlace all your fingers. Release your thumb. And perhaps you this time cross the thumb in the opposite direction. And then exhale to fold forward. Inhale to rise up. Take your hands up. Again, interlace them. Take 3 breaths here. Exhale over to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale over to the right. Inhale to center. Release your hands behind your back. Interlace. Cross the thumbs the other way. Release your index. Exhale to fold forward. Keeping your chin tucked here. Inhale to rise. One more time. We're going in cycles of 3. Index finger extended. Kali Mudra. This sword to cut through, to stand in our truth and cut through illusions, delusions, our misconceptions, our biases, stereotypes that we might hold of others, the judgments we might make about others, so that we don't see their truth. Exhale over to the right. Inhale, center one more time, hands behind your back. Cross the other direction for your thumbs, index released, fold forward. Inhale to rise. Roll your shoulders up towards your ears, then slide them down and away. 3 times in one direction. And 3 times in the other direction to reverse this motion. And again, let's drop our left ear to the left shoulder. Left hand can come to the side of the head. This right arm can be extended. And just so you know, I'm bringing my thumb to my middle finger, just going to bring in Akash Mudra there. Back to center, release the head over to the right ear, to right shoulder. Again, use your hand to support you there, gently apply some pressure rather. And again, that left arm can reach out. One breath here, back to center. Swing your legs around to one side and let's come up onto our knees here. So let's keep them together for the moment. Now remember, if you're not comfortable here, you can always roll up a blanket and place it on the inside of your ankles here. You can sit on a cushion here between your sit bones and your lower legs. You can place a cushion or folded blanket in underneath your knees. And if it really isn't comfortable, then come back into your Sukhasana. So let's take a moment here. I'm gonna have trying to face you because I won't be able to open my arms out wide with the wall there. Open out your arms wide. Let's cross the right elbow over the left elbow. Hands to shoulders, backs of hands together, or wrap your left fingertips onto your right palm. Garudasana arms, eagle arms. Lifting your elbows so they're parallel to your shoulders, drawing your navel. Take a moment here. As you exhale, tuck your chin and fold forward. Take a moment, inhale to rise up. Open out your arms. Let's take the left hand behind, the right hand to the left shoulder and gaze over the left shoulder here, coming into this twist here. Inhale back to center, open out your arms. This time, let's take the left elbow over the right, hands on shoulders, backs of hands or right fingertips on your palm. Lift your elbows. And again, when you exhale, drawing in your navel and folding forward. Tucking in your chin as you do that. Inhale to rise up. Open out your arms. Take the right hand behind you, left hand on the outside of the right knee. Gaze over your right shoulder. And remember, our mantra for today is Om Satya Param Dharma. Om Satya Param Dharma. May I walk in the path of truthfulness. May I always connect with others through this path of truthfulness. Inhale back to center. Let's follow around with our hands. From here, lift up your sit bones, coming into table neutral pose. Drawing your navel, and we're going to cycle here through cat, cow, Madhyasana and Bitlyasana. Lift your tailbone, drop your lower back, lift your gaze. Open up the throat here. And think about what it is that you have been hiding, either about yourself or that you've been deceiving yourself about. Perhaps you have convinced yourself of the truth about something, knowing that it's not. So we are the greatest masters of deceiving ourselves, often liking to think ourselves as being, well, I like to think of myself as being really right on. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I am materialistic. Rounding through your spine. I like to think I'm really compassionate, but sometimes I'm very judgmental. So the truth of yourself is also seeing all of these different aspects to yourself and knowing that there's probably a balance. Recognizing the areas for development or the ones that we want to work on, or the shadow side. And then let's come back to neutral. Take a moment here. We're coming into melting heart. So walk your hands as far forward as you want and then melt your heart down towards the earth. If it feels too intense with both arms stretched out, fold in the right arm and then rest your eyebrow center either on the back of your lower arm or on a cushion or pillow. So you can be in half anahatasana, ardha anahatasana, or with both arms extended variation. And remember, you can place a folded blanket or a cushion underneath your eyebrow center, perhaps even underneath your heart space. So you could always use a bolster or a large pillow underneath your heart space so that it's resting on something. We can add to our practice, and we can then take away from our practice whichever props we need, or if we find we don't need them. Sometimes having props is just supportive. Sometimes having props enables you to find more space. If you have one arm extended, fold in the extended arm and then extend the opposite arm. One more breath. Anahatasana here, focusing on the throat area, focusing on this blue breath, this wispy breath. Might be dark blue, might be light blue. Folding in both arms for a moment and then slide your sit bones back towards your heels and come into child's pose, Balasana. Your arms can stay folded and the back of your head resting on the backs of your hands, or you can bring your arms alongside your body, palms face up. Yogi's choice. We won't be here for long. So the masks that we wear mean sometimes that we don't see ourselves, or others don't see who we are. And it can be really frightening and nerve-wracking to reveal ourselves sometimes. We might be fearful of judgment. We might feel ashamed of parts of ourselves. And so it's kind of finding the that expression of yourself in which you can safely express who you are by building trusting relationships. And in order to have those trusting relationships, sometimes we need to give a little in order to receive, so that we have these two-way relationships of equals. Inhale. Let's come onto our forearms. Slide your knees away. We're going to come into Salamba Bhujangasana. This is the Sphinx pose that you may know it as mostly in Yin. So it's a variation of Cobra. Now, if this feels too intense, you will know by now your alternative is to take your elbows out as wide as your mat and bring your head to rest on your hands. And you can always create a little stack of your folded fists if you want a bit more of a gentle bend, back bend than being close to the earth. So that will increase the back bend, but ever so gradually. You can always rest your head on a cushion or a block or a large book. One more breath here. Tuck your toes. We're going to move into forearm plank from here. Now, you don't have to yogis, but if you want to have the challenge, engage your core and lift yourself up. If it feels too much, come back into this half plank variation. So you'll be on your forearms, not quite as deep as in Anahatasana. So you're still engaged here. You can have one knee on the earth and one leg extended, so that you still have support in your forearm plank. So both knees lifted, one knee lifted, both knees on the earth. Yogi's choice. We're not here for long. Reach forward with your crown, back with your heels, draw in your navel. One more breath. Come down to the earth, lower slowly. Take your arms alongside your body, palms face down or face up. See what feels comfortable for you and your shoulders. Moving into half bow pose. So let's bend into our right knee and then reach back with our right hand to our right ankle. If you want to bring that left arm up alongside you, if it feels that you're not getting much support with this alongside you, you can always bring that left hand closer to your head. One breath here, and then let's lift our gaze and then lift that knee slightly, just to let our body know where we're going. Release the right foot to the earth. Let's bend into the left knee. Take hold of your left leg or reach back towards it. And again, your right arm can be alongside you, palm face up, face down, up by your head. And then let's just lift that left knee slightly. Lift your gaze, lower down. And now we're going to rise up with both legs. So bend into your knees, reach back, take hold of your ankles. You can stay here. This might be enough. You can be reaching back for your ankles. If you're reaching back, just lift your head and heart. If you have hold of your ankles, inhale, lift your knees, lift your heart and gaze. You may rock here for a few moments. Some of you may be in a deeper variation, some of you in less deep variation. We'll all be in different places. Exhale to release to the earth. Release your ankles. Take a moment to realign and then let's shake our hips very slowly, swaying them from left to right. Hands at your shoulders. Inhale, rise through table. Come back into child's pose. This time, have your arms extended. Reach away with your fingertips. Take your knees as wide as your mat, big toes touching. Slide your hands to in between your legs. Lion's breath, Simhasana Pranayama. So your fingertips can be on the earth, your palms can be on the earth. Take your gaze directly ahead. Release your shoulders away from your ears. Take a full breath in through your nose, and then as you exhale, open your mouth, point your tongue out, and open your eyes as wide as they can go. We'll do Simhasana, lion's breath 3 times. We're clearing the throat chakra here, from which we express ourselves, from which we express our truth, in which the place from which we actually hear the truth of others. Inhale fully. Twice more. Inhaling to prepare for Simhasana. Exhale, Simhasana. Last time. Let go of any illusions, delusions, falsehoods, lies, prejudices, filters that you adopt with this final breath out. Walk your hands away, knees closer, and then tuck your toes, rise up in mountain, Parvatasana. Sway your hips from left to right. Take a moment here. And then lift your gaze to the top of your mat. And then let's walk up to the top of your mat and come into a forward fold here. Tuck in your chin. Allow your upper body to feel heavy. You might take hold of opposite elbows. This will draw your crown down towards the earth. Your chin is connected to your throat here. Your abdomen is resting on your thighs. So you take a deep bend with your knees. And we're going to go back to our Brahmari breath here. Honeybee breath. This buzzing breath at the throat. Inhaling through your nose, keeping your lips softly closed, teeth slightly parted. Exhale through your nose as you make a humming sound, the sound of honeybees. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, Brahmari. Inhale, exhale, Brahmari. Final Brahmari breath. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, Brahmari. Release your hands. And then on your next in-breath, begin to unfurl your spine, one vertebrae at a time, to rise up into Tadasana, standing mountain. Head is the last to rise. That's good, feels good for my throat there. So at the top of your mat, in Tadasana. Interlace all your fingers, release your index, cross your thumb. Reach up, this sword of cutting through these illusions so that we can communicate truthfully. Exhale over to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale over to the right. Inhale to center. Release your hands, bring them down to the front of the heart and then reach behind. Interlace your fingers, cross your thumbs in the opposite direction. You may release your index as well. Draw your hands down. As you exhale, bend deeply from your knees. Lower your crown towards the earth. As you do this, reach up. with your Kali Mudra. Release your hands with care, moving into Utkatasana, chair pose. Hands come out in front of you, arms parallel, interlace into Kali Mudra. So sit back here in Utkatasana, hands reaching forward, fingers interlaced apart from index, thumbs crossed. Reach forward through your fingers. Sit back. One more breath. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands down towards the heart. Release. Take a moment here. Inhale, reach up, gentle back bend. Exhale to fold down towards the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on shins or thighs or fingers on earth. Yogi's choice. Tailbone reaching back, crown reaching forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step back with the right knee. Drop the right knee to the earth. Untuck your toes. Take a moment here, rise up. Interlace your fingers at the heart and Kali Mudra. Take a moment here, sink into that left hip. Reach up with your hands towards the sky. One breath here. Reach forward. Release your hands, take them behind you, cross your thumbs the opposite direction so that it feels weird. Reach back. We're going to fold forward to the inside of that left leg. So your left shoulder can rest on your left thigh, or you can bring your left shoulder to the inside of your left thigh. I'm going to turn around so you can see me. And your hands reach back. One more breath. Inhale to rise up. Release your hands. We're going to step back into plank so you can have both knees on the earth or toes tucked and both knees lifted off the earth. Your choice here. Actually, let's all do Ashtanga here. I'm not going to give you a choice right now, sorry. Exhale, knees, untuck your toes, bend into your elbows, chest and chin to the earth. Lift your tailbone here. Ashtangasana. Exhale, slide your knees away, hands by your shoulders. Inhale to rise in Cobra, Bhujangasana. Exhale down to the earth. Tuck your toes, going to rise up through table into mountain. You're invited to take a lion's breath here if you choose. I'm going to step forward with the right foot. So bring your left knee to the earth. Step forward with the right foot. Take a moment here. Catch up with your breath. Inhale, rise up here. Hands interlaced at the heart with your Kali Mudra. Sink into that right hip. Reach up. Now think about how you can have ownership and honor your truth through your words, your thoughts, your actions. And take accountability for what you say, what you think, what you say, what you do. And be guided by your sense of authentic connection to who you are. Move through the world with this truthful integrity. Exhale, arms parallel. Maintain this Kali Mudra. Reach behind your back, cross the thumbs in the other direction so it feels strange. Keep the index extended. Exhale, fold. So you can bring your right shoulder to your right knee, or you can reach down with your crown towards the earth. Inhale to rise. Ground down through your feet as you do that. Hands at your heart. Bring them to the earth. And then let's step forward with both legs together at the top of your mat. Release the weight here, your head, your shoulders. You might take hold of opposite elbows, bend your knees, tuck in your chin. Let's take a Brahmari breath here. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, Brahmari. Inhale to unfurl your spine one vertebrae at a time. Come up to standing. Take a moment. Let's do this on the other side now to balance out. Inhale, hands to sky. Gentle back bend. Exhale, fold down towards the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands on thighs, shins, or fingertips on the earth. Crown reaching forward, tailbone reaching back. Exhale, fold. Now let's step back with that left knee. Bring the left knee to the earth. Take a moment and then let's rise up with our Kali Mudra. You know where we're going. Inhale to reach up. So now while we do this sequence, think about how you can offer constructive communication. So remember those gates that we talked about last time, the 4 gates. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Is this the right time? Because you want to communicate truthfully, but not if it hurts someone, not if it harms someone. Thinking about how you can communicate with compassion, arms reaching forward, parallel to the earth. So the first principle of ahimsa informs this principle of satya. Reach behind your back, interlace again, cross your thumb in the opposite direction this time. Sink into that right hip. Again, bring your right shoulder to your right leg, or right shoulder to the inside of your right knee. Hands reaching up, crown reaching down. One more breath. Engage your core, rise up, ground through this right foot. Release your hand, bring it to the earth. I'm going to step back into plank, half plank, palakasana here, whichever variation you wish to take. Everybody in ashtanga, knees, untuck your feet, bend into your elbows, chin and heart to the earth. Sit bones are lifted here. And then slide your knees away, coming into Bhujangasana, Cobra. Release your shoulders down away from your ears. One breath here. Press into your hands. Come back into mountain. Moving through table if you choose. Lion's breath here if you wish to join me. Take a full breath in, out through your mouth. Now we're going to step with the left foot forward, right knee to the earth, and then step forward with the left foot. Almost there, yogis. Hands to your heart in your Kali Mudra. Thinking about this sword that's held by Kali and her carnation as Durga, this goddess who is powerful, who stands in her truth, who is able to cut through, any kind of nonsense, the lies, the deceits, the deceptions, the falsehoods, the stuff that we hear from people, their excuses, justifications, when they try to hide the truth from us. As you exhale, arms parallel. Feel strong here. Really ground down through that left foot and the top of the right foot. Reach behind you, cross your thumbs in the other direction. Draw your fingers down towards the earth, open through your heart, and then exhale, either left shoulder to that left knee or to the inside of that knee. Engage your core, press into your feet, rise up. Release your hands, and then let's step forward with the right foot to meet the left. Forward fold here. Again, bend your knees deeply to bring your chest on your abdomen onto your thighs, tuck in your chin. Perhaps you take hold of opposite elbows. Brahmari breath here, honeybee breath, this humming sound. Inhale through your nose, humming or buzzing sound out. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Take a moment here. Connect with your breath. This swirling blue breath. And thinking where we were about how we communicate with others, how we might call them in, how we might challenge them, but to do it from a place and in the spirit of love. Rather than judgment, with the intention of helping to improve either your relationship, to add to understanding, so that instead of more barriers building up between us, we can have more honest and clear communication with one another. Let's have our hands in, let's actually bring our hands in our Akash Mudra. So interlace all your fingers and then create this circle with the tips of the thumb. I'm going to step back with our left foot. So I'll come to this, with our right foot, sorry, not our left foot. So step back with your right foot. Have your right foot at a 45-degree angle. Turn your hips so they face forward. Bend into this left knee. And keep this Visuddha Mudra here for the moment. Push out to the outer edge of your right foot. Take a moment here. We're going to move into Warrior One. Virabhadrasana. Inhale, maintain this mudra and reach up with this mudra above your crown. Perhaps you bend more deeply into that left knee. One more breath. Exhale, open your arms in Warrior Two. And I'm going to bring my thumb and middle fingers to connect here. One more breath here. Straighten through that left knee. Hinge over to the left. Exhale, bring the left hand to the inside or that left leg or onto a block here. This right hand can be on your right hip, or you can reach up and over so your hands are pointing directly up to the sky. Open through your heart. Now take your gaze up towards your hand. I have my Akash Mudra, thumb and middle finger to represent the space element, which sits at the throat chakra. One more breath here in Trikonasana. Bend into that left knee to rise up. Turn the left toes. Let's come into Tadasana, star pose. Arms reaching up today. Toes pointing forward. Push the weight to the outside of your outside edge of your feet. So we're normally here for star pose. This time we're going to do Uttita, reaching up star pose. Uttita Tarasana. One more breath here. Bring your hands into your Visuddha Mudra. Exhale. Now have a soft bend in your knees. Maybe you take your feet out a little wider. I'm going to hinge forward and come into wide-legged forward fold. Our hands can be on the earth here, or on blocks, or on cushions, whatever brings the earth up towards us. Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Again, allow your head, neck, and shoulders to be heavy here. Keep your toes pointing forward, weight shifting to the outer edge of your feet. Soft bending your knees. Lower your crown towards the earth. Bending into your knees. As you inhale, begin to unfurl your spine, one vertebrae at a time. Your chin stays tucked into your throat until you come all the way up. You might need to heel toe your feet slightly closer. Open out your arms. Turn your right toes to the top of your mat. Bend into your right knee, coming into Mahavira here, warrior two here. So remember, you can bring your hands into Akash Mudra if you wish. Check that your left arm is not slouching down as mine was a moment ago. Bring them parallel. Take a moment here. Now let's turn our hips. So again, you might need to widen your stance here slightly. Bring your hands into your Visuddha Mudra here. Inhale to come up with Virabhadrasana warrior one. I have my Visuddha chakra there above my crown. Bend deeply into your right knee. One more breath here. Exhale, release. Let's hinge over to the right. Left hand reaches up, Trikonasana. Ending with Trikonasana here. Triangle pose. Right hand on the right leg. Left hand on your left hip. Or reaching up and take your gaze up towards the sky. And then let's bring our hands down. Let's bring our left knee to the earth and step back with our right knee. We're going to come onto our knees. We're going to move into Ustrasana before we come down to the earth. So I've got my Kali Mudra at my heart. Draw your shoulder blades together. Reach your hands behind your back. So you can have your Kali Mudra here behind your back. And you can stay here. Draw your fingertips down towards the earth. Keep your hips pushing forward. So this might be enough for you. If you want to bring your fingertips to your heels or your feet, you can do that. Check how your lower back is feeling. You might want to support it. It's all chaos here with the dogs. Someone's making their bed. So you'll be in different places here. You'll either be with just a very gentle back with your fingertips reaching down towards the earth. You might have your hands on your feet and your heels. You might be supporting your lower back with one hand and one hand on your feet. And then lift your gaze. I like to look at the point where the ceiling meets the wall, because I feel like it gives my neck lots of space and doesn't make my head fall back without control. One more breath wherever you are. Tuck your chin. Return to neutral. Take a moment here. We're going to go directly into Shashangasana, hair pose. Excuse me, doggy. You can use your hands to scaffold you, palms on the earth. You can take your hands to the back of your heels and come onto your crown, very gently on your crown here. We're not putting weight onto our crown, it's brushing the earth, and round through your spine. And then when you're ready, we're going to come directly onto the earth. Keep your knees bent. Just allow your spine to, you might want to roll your pelvis backwards and forwards here. This always feels quite nice on the lower back, especially after any sort of back bending. So pressing that lower back into the earth. So you have to tilt your pelvic bowl up. We're going to move into our variation of shoulder stand. So options are legs up the wall. So you can bring yourself right up against the wall and have one hip against the wall, and then using your hand against the wall, you sort of turn your upper body, and then you can swing your legs up onto the wall. So that's one option. Make sure I've got lots of space. Make sure if you want to move into Halasana, you have lots of space behind you. So if you're moving into shoulder stand, place your palms face down. Press into your forearms so that you create a solid connection with the earth. Come up onto your toes and then hug your knees in towards your heart. And then you might want to just roll your knees up towards your eyebrow center and immediately support your lower back with your hands. And then when you feel balanced here, you can lift one leg up to the sky and then the other leg. And then walk your hands down your back so that your chin is tucked in. Keep reaching up through your toes. So you might be in a half shoulder stand so that you are quite low towards the earth with your sit bones and your legs are so slightly angled over you. Or you can walk your hands further down your back. So we'll be in different places here. Now, yogis, you can stay in your legs up the wall. You can stay in your half shoulder stand, Ardha Shavasana, or you can bend into your knees, keep supporting your lower back, and then bring your toes towards the earth or onto your blocks or cushion or bolster. Keep supporting your lower back if your feet do not connect with anything. And if your feet are resting on something, you can interlace your hands, release your index, cross your thumbs, coming into Kali Mudra here. But only if your feet are resting on the earth or on a pillow or bolster or a low footstool. We'll be here for 3 breaths. Now, wherever you are, I'm going to invite you to take Brahmari breath here. So, inhaling through your nose, exhaling, making a buzzing sound or a humming sound through softly parted teeth and gently closed lips. The breath comes out through your nose. Inhaling. Inhaling. I'm going to unfurl slowly here. So if you're in halasana, bend your knees so you come back to folded legs here. Support your lower back. And you can place your hands on the earth, extend your legs, and slowly and gradually unfurl your back, one vertebrae at a time, keeping your legs extended. Engage your core here so that you're using your core strength here. Just check where my dogs are. I'm going to bend my legs because my dog's up there and I'll land on my dogs. And if you're against the wall, again, bend your knees in towards you and then bring your body, spiral your upper body towards the wall and then just shuffle your sit bones across. Take a moment to align. And then I'm going to invite you to hug in your knees here and gently roll your lower back. Just before we end our practice, I'm going to ask us to come into fish pose, Matsyasana, which is the counter pose to Sharangasana, shoulder stand. Knees bent, lift your sit bones, place your palms face down underneath your sit bones. Make sure that your arms and your lower arms and your palms are connected with the earth. You may extend your legs here. Inhale, press into your hands and into your forearms and lift your heart space. Tuck your chin into your throat here so your head isn't thrown back. You can stay here. If you would like, you can reach back towards the earth with your crown and bring your crown to rest softly on the earth, perhaps on a pillow. So it's not so far the distance from your crown to the earth. Keep lifting up with your heart, open across the throat. Let's take a Brahmari breath here, the last one of our practice. Inhale fully through your nose. We're coming down to the earth. So lower onto your back. Slide your hands away from each other. Keep your chin tucked for a moment. And let's stay here in Shavasana for a moment. And I'm going to leave you here in Shavasana. So stay here for as long as you need, because your spine may be feeling like it's been worked quite a lot. So I want you to stay in Shavasana for at least 3 minutes. Our time together is at an end. And when you rise up from your Shavasana, remember to close your practice always with Om Shanti 3 times. So closing your eyes and resting here. Or if you are ready to rise up, you may rise up to join me. Inhaling to prepare. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Satya Param Dharma. With truthfulness and honest communication, with compassionate right speech, allowing yourself to connect with others through authentic communication and your authentic self. Dhanyavad. Thank you, yogis. Wonderful evening.